Is it good? So, I imagine you're curious to what we have. This is a 1971, 70, it's 1970 Volkswagen bus. Belonged to Lufthansa Airlines in Germany. Somehow it ended up here. You can kind of see in some places where it had the blue stripe, painted yellow. There's a lot of different key features on this that are going to stay relevant to this specific bus, but it's going to get repainted and it's going to get a new body panel. So that's why it's over here, is we're going to replace the body panel from seam to seam, and we're going to do that. And then we got the corners. Yeah, we got some other body work we're going to do, but basically it's only here for us to do the sheet metal. So I'm going to mark it. We're going to take pictures. We have a guy that has the parts, and we want him to cut them off the car, so we have to bring a whole complete other car to cut it off. So basically use 2 buses to save 1. And I want it cut past, I want to keep this original seam. I want to cut it past this seam so I can deconstruct the new panel and deconstruct this panel, so we can put the seams to seam. It'll look more factory that way, instead of, you know, cutting a random line somewhere and then trying to weld it and it'll heat up, shrink, and expand. We don't want that. So I'm just going to make a mark. I want at least 2 inches, but I think we're going to go big. That way, if any translation gets lost in these photos, he might cut it shorter, he might cut it bigger, but we want it at least a couple inches on either side to deconstruct it properly. So we're just kind of making some reference lines, some marks, so that he knows, right? And then we want all the way to this corner, and I don't know if we want this whole complete corner. I think we could knock a bunch of these dents out and fix all this stuff. Keep getting in front of the camera. So I think we're only going to cut this panel section out from this seam. So we're just going to make sure we cut up here, and possibly, you know, around this way, just to keep some of this corner sheet metal. This corner is relatively good. Like I said, a couple inches past the seam. And we want the roof a couple inches up on the roof, again, just for deconstruction purposes. And this way, like I said, if there's any translation lost to the guy that has the new body panels, we know that he knows we want excess. And the reason why we want the roof is because this is a lap and a pinch weld. So we're gonna deconstruct this and then reconstruct it. So we want as much of the roof as we can get to cut back to that weld, so we can have good solid sheet metal to weld back to recreate this. And that's pretty much what we're doing on this body panel. And then a few more reference lines. And then
same thing with this corner over here.
Over here on this corner, it looks like it's got caught up in the blitzkrieg. So we want this corner, but we want to go the opposite way. We want to be on this side of this line. And we want this roof line, again, so we can keep as much as this sheet metal as we can. And we're going to go all the way to this seam, probably a little further than that. Right?
Kind of in here.
Yeah, we want to go in here. Don't need that, but a couple inches past the seam. And the body panel's there. We'll cut back down here. We don't really need to mark that, but I did anyway. This can all be banged out, but we're going to go back into this fender, like I said, into that seam. We want the factory seams to be visible. We're not going to putty over them. We're not going to cover them up. We want them to be factory, appear to be factory. So that's it. This is as far as the full body panels that I think we're replacing. And then the nose is going to need some love. This door needs some love as well.
It's actually getting replaced.
But it's gonna get replaced with this deluxe door. So it has the deluxe trim. Take that off, weld the hole shut, and then we're gonna put it on here. So that's really, I'm not worried about that. We'll bang this out if we can. If not, we can recreate these panels. Not worried. This is pretty good. And then check out this. This is the Lufthansa label that they put on when they went to the factory. Volkswagen built these for the what would you call it? The airline? Airport, airline, whatever. So this nose is a bit beat up, and we're on the fence because a lot of these beat up lines come through body lines. Now we can massage them out and probably putty over them, but then that's kind of, I don't know if we want to do that. This one's okay here.
I tried the football trick, and if it doesn't come out nice, then we'll replace it.
Yeah, and this body line here is a bit beat up, but that's with any bus nose. So
This bus has some interesting features
yeah, it's
because it was the airport bus.
main feature that I find interesting is the steel dash. Now these were usually covered with the same stuff, and they were padded. This one was painted.
Also interesting is no vent wings on the front doors.
Yeah,
And
they're there, but they don't open.
Right, it's just a solid or a stationary panel.
Yeah.
And then it's a non-walkthrough.
So yeah, it's a non-walkthrough, which most of these bays were walkthroughs.
Every one of them was.
Yeah, except for this one.
Except for this one. And
And the reason for that was obviously this is a passenger car. This took people from the terminal to their prospective planes. So they wanted to keep the driver and the passenger separated. So that's why they didn't make this a walkthrough. But as you can see, it's fairly rust-free if you look inside. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of surface rust here. Nothing's super cancerous. Nothing's poking through, especially in the typical spots. Even around the fender wells, everything. I mean, it's really quite spotless.
yeah, other than the outside body damage.
Other than some body damage. And you can even see some German writing from the guy who inspected it. I don't know, roof's pretty clean. It's got a lot of clean things. So, I mean, it's going to take some time to get it where it needs to be, but it's really just a bunch of sheet metal. Shouldn't be too hard as long as we get the body panels we want and cut the way we want them, and it'll really just be cut out and replaced. Go hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. You can also check out our website at garagejunkie.apparel.com. We have all our shirts available for purchase. We'll see you next week.